Hi guys, and welcome to another video tutorial of the Paddy system. This time we'll be going into the payments section of the system. So we get there by going to the menu and selecting payment. And at first we have three tabs. I'll go through the tabs as we start working, doing some work. So the first thing you do is that someone would come for their payment. You'd find that person from the list. So let me select someone that I know has some outstanding payments. So you'd select the business partner that is here for payment. And just like in other sections of the Paddy system, we can reduce the list by inputting part of the name in this little filter. Okay, and we hit the load button. So we have a list of of payments due for the farmer, Romney, and we have a few columns here. Each row is a paddy voucher, and we have a few columns. The first column is the date. This is the type of voucher. The system also supports transportation vouchers and a few other things. And we have the document number. So this would be the voucher number. In the payment system, voucher numbers are prefixed with a P, and they're 8-digit numbers. So they're padded with zeros until we have 8 digits. And we have the amount of the voucher, and we have the open amount, which looks like the same thing like the amount, but the open amount is actually it's the balance of this payment, because it is possible to pay a part of the voucher to this farmer and a remaining amount would be left back. That remaining amount would be indicated in this open amount column. We have a write-off column which is hardly ever used, and actually it's right now it's taken out of the system. It's never has been used. And we have an apply amount. This is what, as you see, it's defaulted to full. This is the amount we'll be paying the farmer. So most of the times we'll be paying him the full amount. If we want to pay him the part amount, we go to manual and enter the figure. I'll show you that in a second. So our initial steps, we received his copy of the payment vouchers, and as we go through them, we'd select the vouchers that he has brought us. So let's say he's brought us these two vouchers, so we'd select them. Automatically the system would total up the amounts that is due to him. So now we have the bottom list. The bottom table is a list of what we call invoices of his loans, because as a rice miller we may give the farmer fertilizer or provide him with transportation or provide him with cash loans and that sort of stuff. So those will show up at the bottom as loans. So during the payment process, it's possible for us to deduct some of these loans from the payment he's about to receive, thereby clearing his debt to us. So if we'd like to pay off this loan, we just select the loan, and sometimes it works by the same system like the upper table. Sometimes we'd like to apply the full amount. Other times we want to apply or to pay part of the amount. As you notice, the open amount, it's different from the actual amount, which would be the initial amount of the loan. This was the initial amount, 391,000 and some dollars of the loan, and at this moment it's 474,000. It has increased significantly. This is because this system is applying an interest, a monthly interest, to these loans. You can configure your system not to apply interest, and therefore the open amount will always be the same as the initial amount. So that's why we are having a difference between amount and open. It's because of the interest being applied to these loans. And like I said, we can pay part of this figure instead of the whole amount. So we do the application, that kind of stuff, by these buttons at the top. These buttons, I'm going to go through them one by one. The rightmost is the print account button. We can, sometimes the farmer asks us for what's his balance, that kind of stuff. We can just print a document and give it to him, all of his vouchers that's due to him, the balance of the voucher, and his debts, and the balance out, the difference. Well, right now he actually owes us more than we owe him, so he has a negative balance. So that's the print button is for. The apply payments button is for applying these vouchers and deducting the loans against these vouchers and coming up with a total that's going to populate in this box. So let's go ahead and hit that. That's the first thing we need to do to apply a payment. So right away the system is going to select the vouchers. It's going to show them in red because the screen is now locked. We cannot do anything on the screen at this moment because once we have applied the payments and we have done this calculation, the screen is locked from us, from preventing us from messing with the values here. So as we can see, this guy has a total payment of 612,000 and deducting his loan of 474,000, he'll be getting a remaining balance of 138,000 and some dollars. Actually, everything is shown on this top line, and that is the figure that he will be receiving. And he will be either receiving this in cash or check. If he's receiving it in check, we just put the figure in the box below, in the check box, so the system can save this appropriately, and automatically the cash amount is adjusted. And we can do part in cash, part in check, and the system will automatically update the other field with the correct value. So if we would put 10,000 in check, the system will automatically know the remaining will be cash. And if there's a check, we put a check number here for our record keeping purposes. And what if there's any comments, we can put a comment here also. And at this point we can save this to the database and produce a receipt for the farmer, and it looks like this. So the payment is saved to the database, and it's kind of irreversible. So we have the mill that's doing this, the date this operation took place, a unique receipt number, the farmer, and the farmer name is so long it's overlapping one of the headers here. We have the ID number of the farmer, his phone, his address, and critically is this table here. This is very important. The first column is the date of the document. So this document is a prefix with F, so we know it's a fertilizer loan, and the beginning balance is this, and the interest is 82,000, and the total debit value is 474,000 sometimes. And we have two vouchers, their beginning balance, there's no interest, and their credit value is such and such. So the system totals up the vouchers and totals up the account payable deduction, which is the loan, that's the deduction, and the payout amount is calculated and printed, and the cash amount. And at this point we print this out and print two copies, and one is given to the farmer with his payment, and one is kept at the mill for our record keeping purposes. So like I said, this operation is mostly irreversible. Why I said mostly is that the regular payment user cannot reverse this operation. The two vouchers are paid off and they are gone from the screen, and we cannot see it anymore. And that one loan is also gone from the screen because it has a zero balance and it's gone, we cannot see it anymore. But an admin user is able to reverse this operation by deleting the receipt. So now I'll explain a little bit what the other tabs are for. As you can see, I'm logged in as admin, so I have the authority to reverse a payment. You will need to do this like if a mistake was made or something like that. So the payment user would have to indicate to the administrator of the system to reverse this payment, and so that she can do it again and maybe change something. This is done for security purposes because it's a security risk and it's a security hole to allow the payment user to be able to reverse payments by her or himself. So the receipts tab would have all previous receipts for this business partner. So we can go back in his history and view all of his previous payments and that kind of stuff. Each item here is a previous receipt. If we need to print back the receipt, we just hit the print icon. I needed to hit load again to get the most recent one. So this is the most recent one we did a minute ago. And there we have the payment. We can reprint it back again. Print the receipt. So the payments receipt screen serves as a history of previous receipts. We can go back and view all the receipts and all payments and all transactions between us and the farmer on this screen. I was speaking about reversing the payment. As you can see, I'm an admin user. The admin user is able to undo the payment by clicking the X icon, which will act a confirmation, and I'll click OK. This will undo that transaction, reverse all amounts back to the initial values, and as you can see, those two vouchers that we processed are back in the system, and that fertilizer for 474,000 is back in the system. So this is the power of the administrator in the payment system. He is able to reverse a mistaken payment. Okay, so let me show you how to do a partial payment. A partial payment can be done. So we want to pay this farmer 200,000 of the open amount. So we go to the apply amount column, switch this to manual, and when switching it to manual, we'll change that box into an input box where we can put our figure, which is 200,000, and clicking outside the box finalizes that. And okay, so now we can apply payments by clicking the cog button. If we put our mouse over it, it tells us this is the apply payments button, and it will do the calculations and populate our totals at the bottom. And we can now hit save to produce our receipt by hitting the checkbox. But we have an unlock button. Like I said, after the payments are applied, the screen is locked. But if we like to change something, we just hit the unlock button and we can, these figures are cleared and we can change whatever we want to change here. So say I wanted to put 250,000 instead, and just click outside the box and that's it. And I also wanted to pay part of this fertilizer, so I need to check the fertilizer that I want to pay, and I'm gonna apply 100,000 to it. So this farmer is getting 250,000 from this voucher, and out of that 250,000 he's applying 100,000 to a fertilizer loan. So I click the apply button and the calculations are done, and he'll be getting a balance of 150,000. So I now save it, and it's going to save to the database and produce a receipt. And the receipt is printed. And here we have the receipt that shows the amount, the debit value that we are paying to the fertilizer, and we have the credit value that we are paying to the paddy voucher, and the remaining balances. And now we can print this and give it to the farmer, and as you can see, the fertilizer is still showing up in our system, and also the voucher is still in the system because they are not paid out. They still have open balances, and they will remain here until they are completely paid out. So this is how we perform payments in the system. And oh, I didn't get into this tab. It says new payment. It can be used to create a new payment because sometimes we need to give a farmer a cash payment for some reason or the other. So in cases like that, we select load, so the business partner name can be populated in this box. So he is the one that will be receiving the payment. And for cash payments, the document number will automatically be generated. The date of the payment, we can fill it in. The amount, we can also fill that in here. And we hit save, and automatically a cash voucher is created for the farmer. And if we go back to the apply payment screen, we see that cash payment is here. The new payment tab also has another purpose. We can directly enter a voucher number here and open it and see its remaining balance, or that sort of thing, or the date it was created. This is useful, say we don't know who is the farmer that owns the voucher. We just have the voucher number written on a piece of paper, and we just come to the system and we want to know who owns the voucher. So we just can enter the voucher number in this document number box, and we hit the open icon, and there it is. we have the information for the voucher. We can also adjust this value if it's required and hit the save button. So that's payments. Payments has also a listing screen similar to the Paddy listing screen, where we can go and search for receipts in the past receipts, and the filter, it has a filter similar to the Paddy listing filter. We can search by particular business partner or a receipt number, and we can go and search for particular receipt, and we can do totals. So we can do a total for today to see how much money we paid out. Remember, we did one receipt, and we can do a report to see how much money was paid out for this date. And we see we have paid 150,000 in cash and nil in checks, 150 total, and 100,000 was paid toward credit, and this amount is outstanding. From the outstanding amount is the total loans from our business partners, and this is the total amount due to our business partners. So this would be the total loans, and this would be the total Paddy that vouchers that we have to pay. So that's the receipt list screen. We also have the invoices screen, which can be used for entering loans. I'll get into this screen in another tutorial because we have some more stuff to cover in payments. So we'll do that in part 2 of payments.